This video is about QuickBooks. First off, all these little files right here, these are all backups, and they're backed up onto the desktop. And what they need to do is they need to be drug over here into Google Drive under QuickBooks Backup. It won't back them up directly into QuickBooks Backup in Google Drive. So it does it on the desktop, and then from the desktop they need drug over into QuickBooks Backup. That way they're on the Google Drive in the cloud. So we'll drag those over there. And this is QuickBooks. You open it up. The username is always admin, and the password is 0625 small w small b. And then it opens up. This is a reminder box. I really never pay attention to it. This is the home page. And see, we have menu items up here: file, edit, view, list, favorites, company, customers, vendors, employees, banking, reports, window, and help. Most of this stuff is right down here in these sections, these 5 sections. You have vendors here, you have company here, you have banking here, you have customers here. I think I said customers, that's vendors, customers, company, banking, and then employees down here. But under the File tab, you'll see here you have Open Previous Company. We have Shell, we have Brewer Rental Properties, and we have Affordable Home Builders. Really, that's about the only thing. Besides, the backup is already set up, so I don't really mess with that. Don't mess with none of that. Kathy probably uses that. We'll use the print form things when you have a checks to print. We'll get into that later. Printer setup is all set up, but that's everything that's under File. Edit. There's really nothing in there that I mess with. View. Nothing in there I mess with. Lists. You have Chart of Accounts, which is over there under Company. Item List. Not even sure what that is. Really not sure what that is. Or that. Or that. Other Name List. That's vendors or people who have didn't get put under vendors or employees or customer. Then you have your customer and vendor profile list. I've never been in there. Templates, never been in there. Memorize transaction list. Now that's used for quite a bit for payroll. That's kind of shown on the payroll list, but this is where you find it. Or in the payroll video, this is where you find it. Then you have favorites, never been in there. Company, you have your home page. Like I showed, this is your home page. If for some reason it ever gets closed and you're like, where's my home page? It's under Company, Home Page. Or you can close the whole program out and it automatically starts up with the home page. But under Company, you have the home page, the company snapshot. Really not sure exactly what that is. I know it shows you a pie of different things, probably like accounts receivable, accounts payable, those kinds of things. Don't use that, don't use that, don't use that. Company information, that's where all the company information is. Name, identification number, address, the license number for the QuickBooks. Yeah, what else is in here? Really, probably nothing else in here that I use. The chart of accounts, there it is again, but it's over here also. Make general journal entries, that's something that Kathy uses, but it's also used during payroll, but it's also in the memorized transaction lists over here. Don't use that, that, or that. Customers, you have your customer center, which is this right in here. Well, it's the same as clicking this right here. Create invoices, never done that, never done that. Receive payments, so create invoices, receive payments, create credit memos, may have to do that every once in a while. Nothing, 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 nothing. Item list, it's obviously a list of items. Really, that's about all that's used in here, is the receive payments, the credit memo, and the create invoices in the customer center. Vendor, you have your vendor center, same thing as clicking right there. Enter bills, pay bills. We don't do purchase orders. We've never used that or that or that or that or that. Employees, and we have employees, but we don't use the payroll thing through QuickBooks, so really they're just employee names. So it's just a list of employee names. The payroll center we don't use. We don't use any of this stuff. It's the employee center, same thing as clicking right there. Takes you to a list of the employees' names where you can put in their information. Banking, same thing as this stuff right here. Write checks, order checks, which I don't really order checks through QuickBooks. Don't use that. That's the bank, that's the register. Make deposits, transfer funds, which I'll get into how that's used. Reconcile, it's when you reconcile your bank statement monthly. Online banking, we don't use none of that. Reports, you have your report center. There's some memorized reports. These are used for payroll. And there's basically just you look at these two right here when it comes to company and financial. But there's many different things that can be looked at through the many different reports that can be created to look at how the company's doing, etc. Accounts receivable, aging. I've never really even looked at that or that. Accounts payable through the vendors. Those are all your reports. And Windows, that's just how you want your QuickBooks to look, and then the help, which I've never been in there. So let's go through here. If we click on vendors here, it gives you a list of active vendors. Now there's a lot more vendors. If you click all vendors, some of them have been inactivated, which, if there's a vendor on here that you don't use or haven't used in a while and you want to make them inactivated, you highlight the name and you right click and you go down here to make vendor inactive, and it'll take them off the active list. But this is the vendors, and then over here it tells you the balance of what is owed. What is owed in the accounts payable, what bills have been entered basically. like Central Concrete. That's that one right there. And then you can go over here and you can change this. Right now it's on all transactions. You can just look at bills. If you look just at bills, you can see that the only one open is this. All the rest of these have been paid. And if you need to add a vendor, you go in here and you right click in here anywhere and you put in new vendor. You put in the vendor's name and then you put in their information down here, company name. And really that's about all you do. We'll just put in a fake one here, 111 asphalt. We'll press OK and there's 111 asphalt. So now that there and there, and if you had a bill from 111 asphalt, there's a couple ways to add the bill. You can go over here and right click and enter a bill. If you already have a bill in for someone you want to pay it, you can go in here and right click and hit pay bill. But there's also a separate pay bill window, which is normally what we use. So to take these guys back out, we right click and we hit delete vendor. Yes. And that works the same for all of these tabs, like customers and employees, which employees, normally if you have someone that you've hired and you've put their name in here, you're never going to take it back out. But customers, same thing, you're never going to take them back out, but that's how you would add them, the same way that we added someone in there. Like I said earlier, we don't really use the purchase orders or the receive inventory. Now we do use enter bills. We do it right through here. We click on enter bills. You have a vendor, say A1 Metal. You would put like their invoice number in here, how much is owed, when the bill is due. Right here, the date, you normally put when it was purchased. So if this was purchased, say like last week on the 10th, you'd put the 10th there, and then whatever date it is due, you would put there. And then over here, you would put like if it was some type of job material. What is this, A1 Metal? So let's say just like job materials, really you can just hit J and job materials. And we used to break all this stuff out years ago, but anymore just everything kind of just goes under job materials, and you put the amount, and if there is a job it's associated with, you click over here under customer job and you find the job, say like Warner, and you click it, and that way it'll be charged to that. Where you run a report, it'll be taken off the profit and loss for that job. And if you want to put a memo there as to what it was that was bought, you can also put a memo there and there. And that's how you do that. Clear that, close that. And to pay bills, you click this button and you go through your list here. Let's say you wanted to pay Cassidy Ice, you wanted to pay Collison's, so you would click them and you would hit pay selected bills. I probably shouldn't have done that. Now I got to figure out how to undo it. And you hit done, and then you would go up here to file and you'd hit print forms, print checks, and it shows you these two checks right here. You'd put the check number in, I better not click that because I can't remember how that works. But anyway, you'd put the check number in here that you're starting with, you put the checks in the printer, you'd press OK, you'd make sure you have the correct printer selected, which would be um, Wanda's. I don't think it says Wanda, it just says MX920 on LPT1, and that's how you would do that. And I'll go back and figure out how to take these out later. I'll probably have to put those bills back in there. So that's everything that's under vendors. And customers is very similar, works very similar way. Here's all your customers. Again, these are all the active customers. Um, if you click all customers, these are all the customers we've had. So like if you get a new job with Anderson Moore, you would unclick this here. Do you want to activate the subs? No. And then you would right click there and you would add a job under Anderson Moore. If you had a new customer, you would put new customer. You'd put the new customer's name in like you did for vendors. The customer name. And you'd press OK. We'll just put in a ABC construction. We'll press OK. So now they're in here. And then once you had them in, then you would add the job. You always want to add the job. You never want to put everything just under the company name. You want to have a job under each company. So then you would add a job. Just call it driveway. Okay. So then now you have ABS construction and driveway underneath there. So let's get rid of all that. Delete. Alright, gotta delete that first. Then delete that. And we're going back to active. Also on here, this shows you what is owed by the customers. You can go in here, right in through here, and you can right click and you can hit create invoices. So if you need to add an invoice, you'd hit create invoices. And really I didn't do that right. Let me back up here. No, I want to get rid of that because you'd want to create the invoice under the job name. So you would right click and you'd hit create invoices. You can see up here customer job, Bubba Ward, package, train repair. Then you put in your information here. Normally under item I just put miscellaneous and in the description and the amount. I'll hit clear on that and close that. You also receive payments. Let's say like we had received this check from Bubba. You can go right here and hit receive payments, and it automatically comes up with the received from if you do it that way, and you'd put the check amount. Once you put the check amount in there, like if I put 12,834, it's going to put a check mark right here because that matches that amount. And then you'd put the check number in there and you'd put save and close. We don't want to do that right now. That's how you do that. What else is in here that we use? Really, that's about it. New customer, add job to a new customer or an existing customer, create invoices, receive payments. You can also make deposits by doing this or through this window here, and then you can create a report also. Let's see, the other thing that's neat through here is once you go here and you're under a customer and a job, and if you have an amount in here, an invoice in here with amount in it, you can go in here to job profitability, and it will show you what you have made on the job so far, which it says on this job we've made $12,834. There's been nothing billed on this job for some reason. Not sure what's up with that. I probably need to check into that. Some stuff may have got put on here by accident. Let me look at that right now just in case. 910, 820, 910. Yeah, I think all of this stuff needs to go over there on the other job. I'm going to have to check that out at a different time. Let me write that down. Check. Tropicana. Okay. What else is in here? That's really about it. Close that. So that was under just this tab right here, just by hitting customers, and this comes up. And you can also do the same things here. You can create invoices through right there, which is usually what I hit. You can receive payments through right there. And really that's the only three buttons I use on this: customers, create invoices, and receive payments. Next we have employees. It's same deal. You have active employees, all employees. That's going to show everybody that we've hired over the years. Released employees, I don't think we've ever even used that. And this stuff is really not, some of it's filled out right, some of it isn't. It has people's social security numbers, or filled out completely anyway. And transactions, it's the other tab you look at every once in a while. Why isn't that working? What happened? Something froze up. Let's see here. What happened? I don't know. Something happened. Where was I? I was down here. Oh no. Yeah. That's not where I was. I was right here. Oh, I see. What has happened is TeamViewer has goofed up. Let me close that. And open it back up. Okay, here we are. Employees, transactions. Like this shows you this calendar year, every check that was written to basically anyone who has worked for us this year, whether they're on the active list or not, to any employee who's worked for us or anyone who's been under the employee list. Which is handy sometimes if you need to go back and look at something for an employee. What else we got here? That's really about it for employees. That's the only thing we mess with there. And under company we have chart of accounts. Again, the same thing here. These are the active accounts. It doesn't show active, but down here is inactive. These were accounts where I was taking money out of the Wells Fargo account, right there, and I was just transferring it in here, kind of really just hiding it from myself. And I don't know what all these others are, why they're inactive, but they are. But this is our accounts. You have your bank accounts, accounts receivable. I'm not sure what A lot of this stuff I don't know what it is. Employee loans, obviously, know what that is. This is something Kathy uses. Equipment, that's obviously a list of our equipment. Something Kathy's kept track of. Fixed assets. Um, Loan to affordable home builders. Accounts payable. Really the only things you need to pay attention to here, let's see, would be these bank accounts, the accounts receivable, maybe the employee loans. If you loan an employee money, this is how I always get to it. I go in here and I double click on employee loan, and I can look and see, am I evened up with them? And why this still shows a balance of 2772.88, I have no idea. It's from years ago. Probably loaning money to employees that we never got back from before they quit, is my guess. Accounts payable. You might look at that every once in a while. Profit distributions right there. These are job materials. Labor wages. But you can run reports on all of these. If you click on reports here and you hit quick report, you're going to get a report for this year, this fiscal year to date. Which one did I do? Oh, labor wages. I'm not exactly sure what the heck it's showing me here because I've never looked at this before. Obviously that's Ruben. And it's got some job names. Okay. Thing to do is go over here and hit source name. That's who, source name is who the check was written to. These are all for workman's comp. Okay, we're not going to get into all that, but that's, you can run reports right out of here on the different things. Permits, subcontractors, which back in the day we used to separate all that stuff. I don't know if Wanda still does or not. I don't think she doesn't seem like she does. It just goes under subcontractors, and really the only subcontractors we use anymore that we show would be pumping, a mason, termite spray, but again we just put it all under subcontractors. And what else is in here? Travel expenses, administration management stuff, just all the different accounts, expense accounts, cost of goods sold accounts, fixed assets, equity, accounts payable, receivable, and banking accounts. And what else? There's nothing else on this little square that I use. Over here we have banking, which you have your deposits, which I don't think there's anything in there to show you right now, but if there was, you'd hit record deposits. And once you receive, you do the receive payments over here. Once you receive payments from a customer, when you click on the record deposits, it'll show up in here any payments that you've received. So then all you would do would be click the ones that you want to deposit and hit save and close. And you have to do deposit slip and all that and take it to the bank and all that other good stuff. Just you write checks right here. Checkbook comes up and you pay to the order of either vendor or an employee or other name. Put the amount, the check number, what it was for. Like if it was somebody for day labor, You could just type in, you can just type stuff in like day, labor wages, day labor. You don't really want to use that, the day labor under subcontractors. I'm not really sure why that would even be there, but it is. And you put the amount, put like the job name. If there, you have a note to put in there, you put a note in there. Um, Check register. You choose your bank account, click OK. Takes you to the check register, which there's those 2 checks I need to fix. Fix those checks and bills. I better write that down. Okay. And then this shows your register, what was paid, the check number, the date, your balance, blah 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 blah. And then the reconcile, I'm not even going to try to get into that. It's kind of the same deal. You pick your account, your beginning balance, your ending balance, and you have to go through the checks. And I haven't done this, I have monitors in this, I haven't done this in a long time, many years, so I don't even know how to do it. But I'm sure someone on YouTube knows how to do it, and Wanda knows how to do it. Kathy knows how to do it. And print checks, I guess I've never used this, but print checks, it shows them checks that we created a little while ago through the pay bill window. When you are writing checks, if you go in here and you write a check, like to say to Kenneth, whoops, this thing is weird about capitalization too. Kenneth Unsel. He is on the name list. He's under employees. Unsel Kenneth W. The thing is really sketchy on putting names in. But anyway, what was I thinking? You can always hit print later. Like if you have 4 or 5 checks to do that you're just going to do like this, you hit print later. And then after that you can go in either up here and hit print forms, print checks, or you can do it right there, print forms, and they'll come up whichever ones you have clicked to be print later. And really that's about it that I can think of right at this moment. I'm sure there's 10,000 other questions someone may have. This shows your account balances, your bank account balances, your accounts receivable, accounts payable. I'm not sure what all is in there. They want you to upgrade to the new Quickbooks, backup. Every time these are closed, whichever company they're closed, they do an automatic backup. That's what goes onto the desktop that I was showing you at the start of the video. And reminders and alerts, I don't really ever use that. And I think that's about it.